Yeah, hey again traders, Michael here. We're also looking at euro dollar and we are looking at a long position coming up potentially. Now, again, we've had a huge run up in price. As you can see, massive buying after NFPs where we jumped over 180 pips. In fact, it was more than that. In a few days, it was 220. On the day, it was 186 pips. So again, what we're looking at is corrective price action with regards to the main trend. So by corrective price action, I mean the price is rejecting the highs in corrective fashion, which is basically indicative of a lot of profit taking after this huge run up. And so the market moves in waves, and so we're now pulled back, and we're in this nice zone here at the 1400 level, the 0 level. We're also bouncing off the S2, and we've now printed this beautiful indecision candle. And ideally, we would look to wait for another move lower, but I'm actually going to go long right here. So I'm just going to be banging out 4 quick trades. My stop is below the S2. As you can see here, our stop is protected by the S2. And if we look on a 30-minute chart, when we get these small green candles at the moving average, that is an excellent entry. Okay, so one of the key things I learned about trading in the past is that professionals trade, well, let me rephrase this, retail traders or rookie traders will trade off large bars, professionals will trade off small bars. So one of my mentors taught me that. So if you have a big move like this, there is profit to be made, as this is a bullish engulfing, you can trade it up. However, when you enter on the close of a bar like this, you have incredibly large stop. It makes no sense to have your stop in the middle of this bar. The only logical place to protect your capital is to have it under a swing low. However, this is not a great reward risk situation because your stop is much too big. And in fact, it's only sort of 1-to-1 on that trade, which is, not that great. However, when you enter your trades on small bars, you get comparatively much lower risk. But if we look at this, there's a possibility of much greater return. So if we look at that, our stop, there's our entry and there's our stop. So the top of this box indicates our entry, the bottom indicates our stop. If we're looking up to the pivot, we're making 2-to-1 at least. However, because this is a corrective pattern, we are absolutely looking at the possibility of moving up to the former swing high, okay, because that's how the market works. It moves to where the money is. So we're bouncing off the 200 moving average, we're bouncing off the S2. We've printed a 30-minute small bar in the context of bouncing off the moving average. Therefore, absolutely, we should look at moving up to the first resistance. And the first resistance is actually the top of where this price rejected from. Okay, so actually looking at here, first, this is the origin of the drop. Okay, now notice that if we just extrapolate this zone across to the left-hand side of our screen, you will notice that this is a place that has proved before as a place of support. Okay, so this is our first place where price is going to at least pause. After then, if it breaks through the pivot, it is coming up to this region here, and there is no question in that because price moves to where the money is. The money is above this level. Okay, this is this supply zone. This is where sellers have their stops, so price will move to there. So I'm long a number of positions, as you can see. When price moves up to this zone, and I'm just going to enter a few more trades here, I will take out the majority of my positions, and then I'll leave one position for higher up. So my last position is going to be up here. As you can see, I'm not going to put my take profit at the very top, which is roughly 1485. I'm going to have it about 8 to 10 pips below that. Now notice that in this top zone, the R2 here is at the same place as the swing high Friday, which is the high of the week, which is a significant level. There will be a lot of action or reaction at that level. So I want to take my profit before then. The other thing you'll notice is that when price hit its peak on Friday, we had a very, very sharp drop down here. Okay, so that is a supply zone at the peak, and that's why there will be a lot of sell orders there. I don't want price to get to the top. I wanted to get 10 or 12 pips below, and that's where I'll take out my last position. So you can see we're long right now, and let's come back when price moves up to our take profit just in this zone, and we'll see what happens after that takes place. Okay, so we're back next morning, and this is the result. So if you remember, we identified this region as the place where price would go to, and as you can see, price just broke through that area. We took out a number of positions for 15 pips, and price rejected from above that area, and then look at this again. Price respected that same zone another 4 times at the end of the North American session. So wow, obviously you can see this is a very, very clear zone, and that's why we take our profit in zones like that when price moves up very, very quickly. So we have one last position in. I'm now going to move this last position up to break even. As you can see here, this was the zone we were looking to buy at, and as you can see, price actually came back down and tested that zone again. Now note that this is the 0-0 level, the 1400, the big number, the big psychological figure, and price was unable to penetrate through that. And what actually happened is we've got this dynamic trend line on the bottom side as well. So we took out a number of pips there. Let's have a look and see what we made. All right, so here's our pip on euro. So open at 212, close at 450 while I was sleeping. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 120, 130, 135 pips on euro. And then obviously we had all pound, the pound position as well, which we took out. So 135 pips on the euro. There's our deal map, live deal map. And yeah, just an amazing trade. And that's the ability of learning to recognize turning points in the market. When you can do that, by understanding the context of the higher time frame, and then you have real confidence in where the market's going. Now remember, we said that this was a corrective pattern in the context of a large, powerful, impulsive wave to the upside, and we had bottomed out because of the 0-0 figure. And remember, we looked at the fact that we had this 30-minute small bar at S2 by the 200 moving average. Okay, and that's the reason why, well, that was actually the trigger for moving to the upside. It was a stall pattern. Now, what's even more interesting is that if you look at this big bar here, when most people saw that, let's put this over here, that's extremely bearish. So you had a lot of people selling that bar. A lot of retail traders, once that bar closed, they sold the exact bottom of that bar. Okay, worst mistake of their life, because look at that. So that's why you never ever sell low. You always sell high and buy low. That was a false move. It was a manipulative move to trick you, and so we didn't fall for that. We went long, and sure enough, we did extremely well. So now we are looking at our last position, going to the all-time, or not the all-time high, the high of last week at one spot 1485. We're going to go just below that and about one spot 48. We're looking to get another 75 pips on our last position tonight, but if not, we made 135 pips last night on the euro. Our last position is now at break even, and so now we can't lose. Even if I left my stop below the previous swing low of today, I'm still up, and I get stopped out for 10 pips, I'm still up 125 pips, so I can't lose. So if you stagger your reward to risk like that, and use multiple positions, obviously relative to your own risk tolerance, then it allows you to get a profitable trade regardless of what happens. But I am going to move my stop to break even because I'm happy with that. And we're going to let this last one run and see how it plays out. But there's another 135 pips on euro, and overall for the night 135. And how many we get on pound? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So 195 pips for the night, and we are done for the week.